Julie Auld is the Associate Professor in Biology, Zoology and Animal Science at Western Sydney Uni and joins us now. Julie, your research looked at wombat noses and whiskers. What did you discover about how important they really are?
Yeah, so wombat noses and wombat whiskers, it's not just making them cute. They're actually really functional, really important anatomical structures. So they are used for smelling, obviously. And so they can use it to smell food that they want to try. They also want to be able to smell predators and be able to hide. They want to use them with that as well. And they use the whiskers to feel around, just like we would use a hand if we're in a dark place to move around. They use their whiskers to help them move through dark places like their burrows.
Now, you found that the two main wombat species are actually classified by their noses. So explain the difference. There's the bare-nosed wombat and the hairy-nosed wombat. Is it as simple as one has hairs and one doesn't?
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much it. The bare-nosed wombat doesn't have hair on the end of its nose, and it's the bare patch is actually called a rhinarium. And as well, the southern hairy-nosed wombat has a broader snout as well. So there's a little bit of difference in their noses.
They're known as ecosystem engineers. So how does their digging and their burrows help other animals and the environment rather than the destruction that we hear about?
Yeah, it's definitely, they're very, very important in the ecosystem. So they're digging, it's turning the soil over, so it's aerating the soil. It's also helping with water filtration to go through the soil, and that helps plants to grow. And obviously their whole burrow, because they build lots of burrows or dig lots of burrows, they're not always occupying, the same burrow all the time. They can have, maybe 10 or 12 burrows per wombat. And so the ones that are empty, that provides habitat for other animals too, like small rodents, native rodents, reptiles, a whole bunch of other animals as well.
And wombats use their whiskers to find their way around these complex burrow systems. Explain that to me, because is it like a sense of direction?
Yeah, it absolutely is. So it's absolutely like when we're in a dark place and we're, putting our hand out to feel where we're going. That's how they'll use their whiskers. If you think about something like a rodent, they have whiskers as well, but they actually use their whiskers in a sweeping motion, like a broom, to locate like sides of a tunnel, for example. And so the wombat will use their whiskers to feel their way through the burrow. And bare-nosed wombats have large burrows, but southern hairy-nosed wombats have very, very large burrows, and they're very complicated, and they're called warrens. So the southern hairy-nosed wombats, they have longer and thicker whiskers, and we think that's because they have those more complicated burrow systems compared to our local bare-nosed wombats.
So how can understanding small anatomical details like whiskers and noses help us to better protect and conserve wombats in the future?
Yeah, the more we know about, for example, wombat noses, that tells us more about their behaviour and how they interact with the environment. And for that reason, it's really important to, as ecosystem engineers, to help us to conserve them. The more we know about them, the better we're able to understand them and conserve them.
Professor Julie Auld, thank you for sharing this unique part of wombats that we had no idea about. We knew about their poo being square and we knew how fast they could run, but had no idea how important their whiskers and their noses were. So thank you for joining us on ABC Illawarra.
Thank you.